Hey everyone, I have not been live. Lula says hi. Y'all like my Wednesday sweatshirt? I love the new Wednesday series that was on Netflix. I hope they have another season. Hi! And if you guys missed this, I will save it and eventually it will end up on my YouTube as my lives do. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Yes, Angel. Yes, that's her new thing. She is a fan of Halle Bailey's song called Angel. So she'll randomly throw her arms up and just be like, Angel. Yes. Okay. So today I wanted to chat with you guys about some Halloween stuff. Like some of my opinions on costumes and costume etiquette. Some of my thoughts on spooky season overall and why I love it, which I've already done a video on that before, but I just want to talk about it again. And then just some random other things on my mind. I just felt called to get on live today, and it's rare that I get on live lately because of Lula and just being mom and busy. So yes, so yeah, check out the nails. You guys know I'm always doing my press on nails spells. I haven't been sharing them as much lately just because Spirit has been telling me to keep certain things to myself. So some of my spells have been way more personal and intentional, so I haven't really felt the need to share them as much lately. But you know, this one, the spell with this, they're black, but it's mainly more so just right now the energy of learning from my own personal shadows, especially of the past, as I'm releasing things. So that's kind of the intention with this. My hair, you guys know I do hair magics as well. Like when it comes to cosmetics and hair and accessories, majority of the time with me, it's going to have an intention behind it and deeper purpose other than looking cute or cool. So my hair is grayish silver right now because I am wanting to gain more wisdom, because to me this kind of represents like wisdom with time and age. So gaining more wisdom and to see further truths and clarity about things that have been hidden. Braids are magical. The 3 strands in braids represent mind, body, spirit. So also calling in, locking in the energy of what I'm putting out and manifesting and the intention behind it with the 3 strands of a braid, mind, body, spirit. Yeah. Now, let's get on to my further things on my mind. So one is it's about Halloween time and Halloween costumes and random thoughts about that. One of the things that as I'm thinking about it, because I was like, oh, I want to go to Spirit of Halloween and I want to get a witch hat, even though witches don't typically walk around with those hats, you know what I mean? We look like y'all, those of us who identify as witches. Most of us just look like regular people. And I'm not going to get into exactly what I feel a witch is in this particular video today. I've done it before and I can expand on it more later. But I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, one of the reasons I really love Halloween time and spooky season is that it's during this time that the difference between other people and someone like me is that when I'm dressing up like a witch, it's like me being able to actually be myself, loud and proud, without feeling judged or demonized for it. Which, when it's other people doing it, it's like them playing out some sort of fantasy or make-believe, when that's not the case for me. But it's more of being able to enjoy festivities and fun and being more of my weird, authentic self in a way without, like I said, feeling demonized or judged for it. And there's only a certain kind of group of people that I find that you know, honestly just bully on a daily basis. And those are typically the people that come out and say like, oh, well, you know, Bible says this or that. And my response to that is always going to be, but does it though? Because one of the reasons why I left Christianity years ago and went down my own spiritual path and creating my own customized connection to Creator is because of now knowing further truth and doing research outside of what I've been told and outside of the text that the majority of you have been reading and saying the Bible says this or that, when actually it doesn't, because the version that you're reading, especially, for example, the King James Version and other European versions, have been changed. The translation of words have been changed. The text has been changed. Things have been removed for a political agenda. So when you're like, oh, well, the Bible says this or that, and you're demonizing, yeah, witchcraft and things like that, my response is, but does it say that though? Because the version you're reading is not the actual original version. You get what I'm saying? So and it becomes frustrating for me, the kind of people that do this, because they have not bothered to do any research at all outside of what they've been told. So, and then not realizing that they are coming across as the energy with, you know, bullying and sometimes, honestly, it can come across as like evil intent when you're coming after people for and judging them for their spiritual belief and practice when you haven't even bothered to do any kind of real research as to why you're following what you follow. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's just a thought. And let me get a sip of water. I feel a little bit of a cold coming on. Also, since you can't have carbonated water, baby. I also wanted to talk about like Halloween costumes and like some of my opinions on, I guess the best way I can put it is like being culturally correct with certain things is that I think that if you're about to put on a Halloween costume that is not your culture, is something you need to think twice about. Like, I'm sick of seeing people dress up as Native Americans. I'm sick of seeing people dress up as like a voodoo priestess, for example, and you're of European descent. That's not appropriate. It's not okay. Like me, I'm not gonna go and, after what I've learned over time as well, I'm not gonna go up and wear like a grass skirt and dress as a Polynesian dancer, because that's not my culture, and that could be considered cultural appropriation. However, a like gray area would be wearing a Moana costume, only because Moana is a fictional Disney character. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference there. However, if I was of European descent, I would probably think twice about dressing up as Moana. You know what I'm saying? Because I think being more understanding that somebody's culture is not a costume is going to be really important moving forward. So let me know your thoughts on that. Yeah. Hi. And one of the other things I wanted to say too is I like spooky season and Halloween, all these things. And I did a video on this before on my YouTube, because you cannot appreciate light without understanding the reality that there is also shadow. There is duality. There is balance to everything. And also sometimes embracing a bit more of the darker side within yourself is not always a bad thing. The ego is not always a bad thing, because when do we often grow the most? When do we often become even more powerful as a person with strength? It's after we go through darker, tougher times most of the time. We grow through darkness, even in the womb space. you know, when you're being created in the womb and being born, that goes through a darker time, a darker portal. So it's kind of, I guess, naive and ignorant to think that things can be light at all times. No, you need both. You need duality. Now, I've been getting questions a lot, like, why do I enjoy certain things? Like, oh, let's say my ghost face mug from Scream. This is Billy, by the way. If you've seen the original Scream, you know why. His name is Billy. But you have a choice with everything. You have a choice in how you handle everything, right? You might think, oh, that's dark, and Scream is dark, for example, or watching scary movies is dark. Well, when you've actually been faced with things within your life, like seeing somebody possessed, for example, or like, seeing some really darker energies within the world, you can have that continue to make you fearful to even have anything to do with it, or you can take that knowledge as power and transmute it. So I'll give you an example like this. Instead of like, oh, it's about a killer and this or that, I see it as, well, I can put a beverage into this, transmute the energy into protection from things that can mean harm to me. And that's what I do. So when I'm drinking from this, it's like a continuous reminder to me that I am transmuting harmful energy into protection for myself, my loved ones, and being understanding and aware that there are people out there that do things to harm others, often because they're hurt themselves. Even like in the movie, for example, the reason why he did what he did. But they did not take the time to sit with themselves and learn the lessons as to a healthier way to deal with things, and they lashed out. I don't want to be that. Hopefully you don't want to be that. So this is an example as to constant reminders that, again, you can't be in the light all the time when the other side does exist. It's how do you deal with it? Are you going to use it as power and knowledge? Or are you going to be in ignorance and judge others? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Hopefully. Let me see what you said. Hey, beautiful, just saying hi. Hi, Naki. I love you. I miss you. So, yeah. These are just some random thoughts that I've had on my mind. My daughter's always singing and I always hype her up with her songs. Yes, baby, I love you. She's such a light. I love her. I love her joy and just living life. Yes. So anyway, those are just me touching on a couple things. And for those of you that are afraid of spooky season or Halloween, I encourage you to actually do some research on its actual origins and come to more understanding of that and how it's developed and changed over time. Because one of the things that I've learned in doing research is actually that the church had a lot to do with, for example, the creation of trick-or-treating and things like that. You know? Interesting thought. Love the Scream cup in your hair. Thank you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to record the October forecast for the collective, and I am planning on, depending upon how things go, doing the pick a number scrying crystal ball reading I've been promising you guys today. Hopefully today, if not today, tomorrow. But I want to close out this live with a card of the day. And even though it's a card of the day, yes, you see a doggy? Yeah. Even though it's a card of the day for today, it can still resonate whenever you happen to come across this. Let's see. This deck is created by my friend Annika. It's called the Wonders and Witches Oracle deck. If you Google it, it should come up. She has an Etsy shop. Hopefully it's still in stock, but I don't know. I haven't checked. I've had this for a while. Oh, what a synchronicity. As I just said, I need to do my scrying crystal ball reading I've been promising you guys. Look, it's the crystal ball. And the message is truth. And so I think what Spirit is saying right now is that it's time to remove, because the veil is getting thinner as we're getting closer and closer throughout to October and throughout this season. The truth is going to be continuing to come out. And especially with it being still like certain planets in retrograde, creating, I guess for lack of better words, like chaos, so that you could see truth, difficult truths. It's time to stop being in denial and to see truth. And a lot of the people who may see this may feel a little bit scared of truth, or more so scared of the realization that what they thought for so long to be true is not the truth. And with that being said, I think what Spirit is saying is it's more about you needing to illuminate and light your own path along the way, and and understanding that things do change, and with that, even your personal truth can change over time. For example, like the truth of who you are or who you were last year, it could be a completely different truth now of who you are now. So I think what Spirit is saying is to see more clearly what your version of truth is and why that is, and to stop running from it because the realization is uncomfortable. It's important to understand that truth can, in a way, it can be subjective, because it does come down to perspective and your own personal connection and relationship to whatever the circumstance is. But what I'm now seeing through my clairvoyance is like one of those test tubes, like in chemistry and science. Even with science is considered to be truth only because it's what we at this time know to be true because of what's been proven so far. But how many times has the science of things changed over time because more evidence comes out later, or something else is proven to be true later, which then alters what we thought was once true? You get what I'm saying? Truth can change. And so it's okay to embrace the fact that your truth is changing as well. That's just the bottom line of what I'm trying to get to say, and all these metaphors and symbols and whatnot. So light your own path, light your own way, and stop running from what is being illuminated. Stop running from what is being made clear to you. Whether it's something that feels positive or whether it's something that feels scary or negative. Don't run from the truth. It's what are you going to do with the information now that you know that truth? How are you going to evolve from it? And there's certain truths that some of us just cannot avoid. For example, aging, or transitioning to the other side. What are you going to do with that truth, that energetic knowledge? Because things do change. Nothing remains the same. No matter how much you try to have it do so. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Comment below. Not necessarily once this posts on my Instagram, but maybe once this posts on my YouTube, because the engagement is helpful, as you guys know, and I just also love in hearing your thoughts. If you just joined in and you missed this, I will save this. It'll be temporarily up on my Instagram, and then I will move it over to my YouTube channel as I usually do. So I will talk to you guys another time. Love you all. Bye. Lula says she loves you too. Yes.